Hey traders, welcome to another episode of the Trading Coach Podcast. My name is Akil Stokes. I am a professional Forex trader. I'm also a trading coach over at tier1trading.com, and welcome to the show. I started the podcast earlier this year. It's earlier this year being 2018 for you guys that are listening in the future, with the idea and really the goal of just creating another platform in which I can share my knowledge, another platform in which I can inspire others. You see, I do work with traders for a living, but I work with a very specific group of clients that are extremely serious about becoming independent, consistently profitable traders, and I work with them normally in a closed door setting. With that being said, my goal is to try and help each and everybody out there that has the goal of finding success through trading and just finding success in general. And well, having this podcast is a much easier way for me to reach more and more people instead of just a direct message on Twitter or a direct email response. So for you guys that ask me questions on the internet, that those questions turn into podcast episodes, just know that you're doing a massive help of obviously not only finding the answer for yourself, but asking the questions that thousands of other listeners are thinking as well, but just maybe haven't ran into a chance or a way to reach me with that question. Now, today's podcast is going to be an interesting one. We're going to talk a little bit about process over outcome, the shift in mentality that we need to have in order to be consistently profitable traders. And why it's a little weird is because I'm going to feel like a hypocrite today. Because literally hours ago in my live trading room, we had a conversation about not chasing perfection. We were talking about the charts and we were looking at an opportunity on, I believe it was the euro dollar actually today, where it was a good example of when in doubt, stay out. We're looking at a specific setup and I'm like, initially I saw it as a setup, but as I looked a little closer, there was this weird candlestick which kind of threw things off and was kind of sitting in the middle of it could be a setup, but I can also see how it couldn't be a setup, and how one of the rules that I have in trading is when in doubt, stay out. So if I'm not 100% sure of what I'm looking at and how I want to handle it, I just don't trade it. Because guess what? If I'm not in the trade, I can't lose money, and I would much rather be safe than be sorry. There's always going to be another trading opportunity that comes, right? And it got us talking about the point of, many traders that I work with, I shouldn't say many, but a handful of traders that I work with are perfectionists. And you'll see that with a lot of people in life. And perfectionists, those who are perfectionists often have a difficult time going through the training process because the markets are imperfect. We make everything as rules-based as possible here at Tier 1 Trading, but at the end of the day, the markets aren't perfect. Not everything can fit inside that rules-based system. And every once in a while, there are going to be situations on a price chart where it's like, not really, right? And it's one of those things where you're in doubt and you just have to stay out. And I was talking about my mindset in general, how I am not a perfectionist by any means. I would much rather, I gave the example of producing content. So I used the Trading Coach podcast, the TCP, right? As an example, how the other day I did an episode in the car because I'd much rather just get the content out while it's fresh in my mind, while I'm passionate about it, than kind of, have premeditated episodes. I don't want to sit on something for a week and then sound like a robot, like I'm reading for a book, right? There's no script. Akil Stokes, unscripted Trading Coach podcast. And today was an episode where I did record it on my phone in my car on the way home. However, I didn't have my better microphone with me, and there was a lot of traffic, construction going on, and it just sounded bad. And I got home, I listened to the episode, I'm like, man, I really love the topic, but the audio was just really, really, really poor quality. And I'm like, oh, well, we'll just dump it like, thousands of other episodes that I've recorded. And I came across a tweet, right? I was checking my Twitter feed, and I came across a tweet that I can't find right now, unfortunately. I just responded to it. But I came across a tweet that was on the same subject. And what's funny was this is a subject that has come up a handful of different times today. And I really wish I try to, here we go, right here. So it must be important. It's kind of like a message that I should talk about this. And the conversation was about shifting process over outcome, shifting the mindset. I woke up this morning a little bit tired, right? I went to sleep last night at 11. My kid didn't want to go to sleep, so I went to sleep at 11 o'clock, which for me is like 3 o'clock in the morning. I woke up as usual, 5:30. Actually, I decided to sleep in. I usually wake up 5:30. I decided to be risky, right? I woke up at, wait for it, 5:45, right? 15 minutes later than I should have. I know, right? I'm a rule breaker, right? Ooh, that rebel. I woke up at 5:45 and I'm like, whatever. I'm going to get my 15 minutes of extra sleep. I'm going to skip the shower this morning. I'm going to kind of roll out of bed and roll into some clothes. And I put together like a breakfast of like some carrots and some apples, right? And just went straight to work. And it was one of those days where, I'm typically not grumpy in the morning, but it's one of those days where I'm like, man, I only got like 6 whatever hours of sleep. I know I'm not going to be up to it today. It's going to be one of those days where it's going to drag on. There's an FOMC statement and an interest rate hike later today, so the markets aren't going to do anything. Today is just stupid, right? I don't want to go to work days, right? One of these call-off sick days. But I decided to go in anyway, right? Because that's what I'm supposed to do. And the first thing I do when I go into the office each and every morning is I log into our Tier 1 trading platform and I say, hey, traders, happy Wednesday to you. And so be it. As soon as I did that, immediately I got a question from a newer trader on the platform. If you guys can imagine, 'cause I know if you're new, you can't see it, right? We have a chat forum, right? A network of a community network on the homepage of our website, and we have 2 different members. We have premium members, right? Those who are really in the training course, and they're highlighted in green. We have trial members, those who have taken the 14-day trial or are trying the system and the program out for 2 weeks before making up their mind. They're highlighted in white. And it helps us because it kind of tells us what level each trader is at and really how can I approach it when they have a question. And I got a message from a trial member this morning saying, hey, euro dollar sell, what do you think? And if you know me, right, if you've ever asked me this question, typically I give very sarcastic answers. I say, I think the euro dollar is a good pair. Starts with E, ends with D. I like it, right? Something like that. But I was like, you know what, I'm too angry and I was out of it. Didn't want to be sarcastic this morning. So I did the normal Akil approach and I was like, hey, I'd love to help you out, but you got to give me some more information. How about you give me what time frame you're looking at? How about you give me what technique or strategy you're using? Because as a trader, right, there's no such thing as the right move, right? The right move is whatever move meets your rules at the time, meaning that we can be in a bullish market and you can have a counter trend trader that takes advantage of an area or a time of relief, and that can be a good trade for them. So you can easily be a seller in a bullish market. You can easily be a buyer in a bearish market. And of course, all the other combinations as well. And the trader was a little bit hesitant to shoot it in. He started shooting me in some other stuff that didn't exactly answer the question I asked, which is always a red flag for me, right? It's like when you're trying to, you get called out for something and instead of answering the teacher, you kind of go around this other path. But if we do this, right? No, answer my question. And we got, long story short, we got to the point where the trader was like, you know what? I don't really have a reason for trading. I just kind of, just like it. I was just feeling it, right? My trader intuition said, buy, right? And we talked to the trader and just kind of explain to him the philosophy that we have at Tier 1. And not just Tier 1. If you look at any, ignore the 80% of junk that's out there on the internet and you focus on actual traders, real traders, all of us have the same philosophy. It's pretty cool. But it's a philosophy called process over outcome. And what it means is that we need to base our decisions, or we need to base our pleasure and pain, I should say, off of the process of what we're doing, not the outcome. And in general, just taking it back a little bit, everything we do in life, and I had a podcast episode about procrastination on the same topic, but everything we do in life is driven for one of 2 reasons, right? It is either to drive us towards pleasure, right? Do stuff that makes us happy, or drive us away from pain, right? Avoid stuff that makes us sad, right? It makes perfect sense, right? You want to do stuff that makes you happy. You want to avoid stuff that makes you sad. And typically when it comes to trading, why we value the outcome, right? So the result of the trade, why we value that so much is because we're just conditioned to that in life. I mean, sit back and think about your life for a minute, right? Almost everything we do in life is results driven, right? If you work at a commission-based job, right? What is it? Results driven, right? Get the sale, right? If you're doing school, right, you get a test, right? You get a good grade, that means good. You get a bad grade, it means bad, right? Most teachers, at least in where the school district I came from, they don't really care about the process. They don't care how you got to the wrong answer. The fact was that you got the wrong answer, so you're wrong, right? Do it better. And even when we think of things, and I'll say this, one of the main drivers of pleasure and pain is money. Right? Money is a big one, right? Money, religion, politics, all that stuff. Those are the big three. Money is a big one. And we look at the results, right? The results of us making money is good. The results of us losing money is bad. Making money brings us pleasure, right? Think about how you feel when you get that paycheck, right? Every second week you get that either that physical paycheck that you smell. Smells like money, right? Or you get that wired in paycheck, which doesn't give you the same type of satisfaction. I suppose you can sniff your computer, but that'd be a little bit weird. Anyway, not like I've done that before. Maybe once or twice. Anyway, the fact is when we see that money come in, we get happy. It brings us pleasure. Dollar, dollar bill, y'all, right? We're happy. However, when that money leaves us, for example, a bill, just went to my P.O. box the other day and grabbed like 500 bills from our different businesses, and you got to pay them, right? And you're writing check, and you're just like, $500 down the drain, $300 down the drain, $1,000. I don't even know what that's for, down the drain. That brings us pain, right? We're sad to see money leave. And trading is no different, right? We expect that when we win a trade, we make money, right? When we make money, we get happy. When we lose a trade, we lose money. When we lose money, we are sad, right? Pleasure, pain, directly related to winning and losing. We're conditioned to think that way. And what I'm telling you guys is we have to change that. Not we, I have. You have to change that if you want to be a consistently profitable trader. Because the difference between trading, investing, and maybe some other aspects of life is that you can be 100% right and still be wrong in the markets. I know it's weird, but you can be 100% right and still be wrong. You can be 100% wrong and still be right. So we have to value the process. Are we going through trading the right way? Are we analyzing the markets the right way? Are we following our rules? Are we entering? Are we exiting? Are we managing? Is our stop loss in the right place? That is the process. Doing the process correctly should give us the pleasure, no matter what the outcome of the trade is. And the exact opposite. And again, I know it's hard. It takes a complete shift in mindset, but it's tough. And lack of this mindset could be very, very hurtful for a trader. We talked about this as an example in the live room. We're talking about a trader that was over leveraged with position sizing and getting margin call when they really shouldn't be. But in general, here's one of the worst scenarios that you can have. And this may or may not have happened to me in the past, but let's say, right, you're doing trading the right way. You set up an account, right? But you're like, you know what? I'm going to be a demo trader. I want to feel things out. I don't want to spend any money until I know what I'm doing, right? All the right steps. So you don't have a trading plan or any rules or anything like that because most places don't say you need one. You just, pick up and play. And you're looking at the euro dollar and you're like, you know what? My spidey sense is tingling. I feel like this is a buy on the euro dollar. Now, keep in mind, this isn't rules based at all. This isn't rules based at all. You're just feeling it. You're doing it. And you're like, all right, whatever, push the buy button. And the worst possible thing that can happen is you leave your computer, you come back me a few hours later, and the market is up. You cash out. You had this big, lovely trade, and you sit back, and what is the first thing you think? What is the first thing that goes through your mind when you hit this big trade with demo money? You say, oh, man, I wish it was live. If only it was real money. And then you go through these emotional swings, right, where you feel like you've been robbed. The market owes you, right? The market owes you money because you did the right thing and it gave you the reward, but it wasn't a real reward. Now it owes you real money. You also feel overconfident. You're like, man, that was easy. I took like 5 minutes to look at a chart. I kind of felt it. I sensed it. I went with my instincts and the market did what I thought it was going to be. This trading stuff is cake. It's easy. And then you get overconfident. And the next step you do is this. You put together, you have that plan of I'm going to demo trade for 3 months. And then once I'm done demo trading, I'm going to go live and I'm going to be cautious, very conservative position size. And you say, all that gets thrown out the water. You know what? No, I'm good. I'm too good. Let's load them up, right? Open a live account, trade a big old massive position size, right? Because you're feeling yourself. And what happens next? The market does what it always does. It exposes the frauds. If you are a fraud in the market, you will be exposed. Sometimes it's right away, sometimes it takes a while, but eventually you will be exposed, right? The market will punish those who are not prepared. Again, the market will punish those who are not prepared. And when it punishes you, right, it will punish you with live money. And you will lose an unexpected amount of money for no good reason. And that's what happens when you focus too much on the outcome, when you judge yourself off the outcome. And I meant to say this at the very beginning, but here is the tweet that sent me back to this idea. Is a buddy of mine on Twitter, right? And he said, resist the tendency to be obsessed with outcome. This won't work to your advantage. I myself have to fight this urge at the same time. So we got that a few minutes ago. We have the conversation with the trader I just told you about earlier this morning. And then this morning, I also put out a trading quote, right? On social media, I put out a trading quote every day. And today's trading quote was from Brett Steinberger. It said, if all of our expectations and all of our focus is on profits and losses, we become psychologically vulnerable. So it's no coincidence that all this is happening on the same day. I know this is a common message in trading, but it can't be a coincidence that my trading quote happened to be this, that I happen to have this very same conversation with a trader this morning on the platform, hopefully help them save some money. And then my trading buddy on Twitter is dealing with the same thing. So I said, why not, Akil? Let's put together a podcast. It's meant to be. Let's put it out there. How many other individuals are out there kind of suffering from the same thing? There's got to be a lot. This can't be a coincidence. So I thought I'd put together a quick podcast for that subject, process over outcome, changing the mindset. In the original podcast, I went on another rant about doing what you love in life. I was talking to a trader about opening a hedge fund, or he was trying to convince me to open a hedge fund. It was like, don't you need the money? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And I'm like, no, you don't have to do what you got to do. I got to do what I want. That's my goal in life. But we can save that for another podcast episode. So I appreciate you guys joining me as always. Keep up the support. That means keep sharing this show, right? Let me know your favorite episode. When you go through the podcast, let me know what episode really stands out for you. We've been doing this 10 episode challenge with our newer listeners, challenging them to listen to 10 episodes. And I want to give them 10 episodes to shoot for. So if you shoot me your favorite episode, I can retweet that, I can reshare that, I can put it out there on the social world, and that way our newer members say, okay, well, this is one of the best, let me listen to this one and let me get the most bang out of my buck. Even though it's free. I guess that still works, right? So anyway, you guys keep doing that, keep supporting, keep sharing. We keep breaking download records. We keep breaking the predetermined mentality that many newer traders have out there that is causing them to struggle, causing them to fail. And we just keep breaking new milestones in life of helping people be successful, helping yourself be successful, and continuing along the Kaizen philosophy of everyday continuous improvement. Teach one, reach one. That means as you learn something, you reach out and you teach it to someone else. So you guys keep doing that. I'll keep being back each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with new episodes of the Trading Coach Podcast. And until next time, plan your trade, trade your plan. Outro music. Boom.